How's it going, everybody? Let's continue on. Acts chapter 24, verse 12. My accusers never found me arguing with anyone in the temple, nor stirring up a riot, or in any synagogue, or in any streets of the city. These men cannot prove the things they accuse me of doing, Paul is saying. Remember, you want to watch these on a playlist. Playlist is right next to videos on the YouTube channel. Home, videos, playlist, all that. But I admitted that I follow the way, which is what the church was called back then. Jesus is the way. He's also the truth. If you got the wrong truth, you got the wrong Jesus. Jesus is the church. And his sheep are part of the church. And it's also called the way in the King James. There we go. Okay. Which they call a cult. I worship the God of our ancestors, and I firmly believe the Jewish law and everything written in the prophets. I have the same hope. Remember, hope is your own personal salvation. And have hope toward God. In other words, I have salvation, that I'm a sheep. He doesn't hope there's a God. He already knows that. Which they themselves also allow that there shall be a resurrection of the dead, both of the just and the unjust. I have the same hope in God that these men have, that he will raise both the righteous and the unrighteous. Because of this, I always try to maintain a clear conscience before God and all people. And herein do I exercise myself to have always a conscience void to offense toward God and toward men. You never know who's a lost sheep and who's a goat. So treat everybody like they're just a lost sheep if they're not in right living, if they're not in the truth. Now, after many years, I came to bring alms to my nation and offerings, whereupon certain Jews from Asia found me purified in the temple, neither with multitude nor with a tumult. My accusers saw me in the temple, and I was completing a purification ceremony, which was, again, to win the Jews. I became a Jew, Paul said, that he might gain them that are under the law. And to those Gentiles, he didn't bother with the law because they weren't under the law. And of course, the law is no longer needed. Those are just rituals. Water baptism, ritual. Circumcision, ritual. Now it's a circumcision of the heart. Now it's a baptism by the Holy Spirit and fire, like John the Baptist said. The fire is the fiery trials that the Lord puts you through. 1 Peter 4:12, brethren, think it not strange concerning this fiery trial, which is to try you, as though some strange thing has happened to you, and it will begin to feel strange, because you'll start coming out of the world, and your friends won't be coming with you. My accusers saw me in the temple that I was completing a purification ceremony. There was no crowd around me and no rioting, but some Jews from the province of Asia were there, and they ought be here to bring charges if they have anything against me. Ask these men here what crime the Jewish High Council found me guilty of, except for the one thing I shouted out, I am on trial before you today because I believe in the resurrection of the dead. Except it be for the one voice that I cried standing among them, touching the resurrection of the dead, I am called in question by you this day. All right. This is when in our Revelation study, we're syncing up the columns, so it's just 2 verses. Then we'll all be on column 2 tomorrow because of the way we've been doing the Revelation study. We did each letter individually. Then we went ahead and just did chapter 4 all together, then chapter 5 all together, so we could sync up the columns and get it done. And here we are, right? So it's just 2 verses. And then this is actually when you will know you're living in the book of Revelation in real time. because it's all about that first seal and the crowning of the Antichrist, which is his death and his fake spiritual resurrection, because Satan will possess the body. The crown is given to him, he does not earn it. And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard as if it was a noise of thunder, and one of the four beasts saying, "Come and see." And I saw, and behold, a white horse. Now Jesus, of course, has his white horse, and the anti-Jesus has his white horse. And he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him. He doesn't earn it. And he went forth conquering and to conquer, and that is your red horse, World War III, that then causes the famine and the death. The black horse and pale horse are results of the first horse and the second horse. And as far as when you would know you're living in that in real time, what it is it's Zechariah 11:17. Woe to the idle shepherd that leaveth the flock, the sword shall be upon his arm and upon his right eye. The Antichrist receives a deadly wound to the right eye. His arm shall be clean dried up, and his right eye shall be utterly darkened, which is what the Heidi Bowl was about on 11/17, 1968. The right eye utterly darkened, Raiders logo playing the Jets. The Jets are what killed Donnie Darko, Donnie's darkened right eye. And the Jets are what brought down the twin Trumps on 9/11. The New York Jets and the Raiders played on 11/17. On a leap year, 11/17 is on day 322. And the 187th prime number is 11/17. And that's why 187 is their murder code in the entertainment industry. And 11 times 17 is 187. What are the chances of that? Also, that 187th prime number is 11/17. So that's why it's a big deal. And so this deadly wound to the right eye that we're talking about is all about Revelation 13, which is your 666 chapter at verse 18. But at verse 13, it says, "And behold, I saw one of his heads as if it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. He will seemingly have returned from the dead." Like Jesus came back from the dead. This is the anti-Jesus. And all the world wondered after the beast, who was like unto the beast, who was able to make war with him, because he put it into World War III, didn't he? Satan's possessing his body. And you come over here to verse 12. "And he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth," this is about the false prophet, "and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast," which is the Antichrist, "with a deadly wound, comma, whose deadly wound was healed." And then verse 14 says, "And deceiveth them that dwell in the earth by the means of those miracles," again, the false prophet, "which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell in the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had a wound by the sword and did live." Again, because he has seemingly returned from the dead. I'm glad you're here. I love you very much. Ask questions anytime. That's what I'm here for.